Question. Guruji, what is the mind?
Answer. The mind is Maya, the illusion. It is the mind that confuses and deludes you. To live in this world, the mind is necessary. However, if you wish to unite with the divine, if you want to become one with God, then the mind must become empty, as though there is no mind and no world. There are only two states of existence in our life. One is the inner state, and the other is the outer, worldly state. If you are living in the worldly state, you must function through the mind. If you try to live in the world without the mind, the world will cause you suffering, and you will not be able to understand its complexities. But if you wish to abide with the divine, the mind must become empty. To make the mind empty, you must go beyond Maya. And to go beyond Maya, you must bring your breath to stillness. The breath is the food of the mind. You can truly be with your own self only when the mind is absent. Self-realization does not come through reading books, nor does it come merely through intellectual understanding. Self-realization arises only by abiding in the self. Until you remain established in the soul, true self-knowledge cannot arise. Becoming one with the soul is itself self-realization. Reading books does not bring self-realization. It only gives you mental knowledge, knowledge that belongs to the mind. This is where the world's greatest illusion lies, the belief, now I know. That is not true knowing. It is merely an expansion of the mind. The knowledge of the soul is attained only by living in union with the soul. The knowledge of the soul is, in reality, the knowledge of the divine. Becoming one with God is the same as becoming one with the soul, and this is the greatest and most difficult spiritual discipline. A complete human being is one who knows when to function through the mind and, when the time comes, can also remain united with the soul beyond the mind. Take the example of Lord Krishna. During the battle, he used the mind to perform his worldly duties, but within himself, he remained established only in the soul. That is why he is called the complete being, purusha. So, in summary, the mind is the world. All the activities of the mind belong to the worldly realm. Every interaction you have with other people, every relationship you maintain, all of these belong to the mind. Understand the difference between the mind and the soul very clearly. To live through the mind means to live in the world. All our relationships and worldly connections exist only in that realm. But in the soul, we are simply one. We are emptiness. The soul is emptiness, and the divine also abides in that emptiness. Living in that emptiness is the most difficult of all because we exist in a physical world. Yet this is precisely why God has given us this human birth, so that we may learn to abide in that inner emptiness and realize the divine while we are still alive. That alone is liberation. There is no liberation after death. Liberation is attained only if you realize the soul while you are still living. Do not believe that liberation will come after death. No, liberation is here and now. Understand this completely. The truly liberated one is the person who becomes free while living. That is what it means to be jivan mukta, liberated in this very life.
Question. Guruji, my mind is restless like a monkey. It keeps wandering outside and never stays in one place. What should I do?
Answer. This is the condition of every human mind in the world. The mind is naturally restless. It is its very nature to wander. The mind cannot remain in one place for long. It is like a monkey, constantly jumping from one branch to another, never staying still. So, do not become disturbed by this. It is simply the nature of the mind. It will continue to wander and will not remain steady. It settles only when it finds something that deeply attracts it. Wherever there is genuine attraction, the mind naturally becomes focused and still. For example, if you enjoy cooking and eating good food, your mind will not wander while you are preparing a meal. You will be completely absorbed in what you are doing. Likewise, if you are excited about traveling somewhere or visiting a temple for the darshan of God, your mind will remain focused on that journey. The mind naturally stays where your deepest inclination lies. If your inclination has not yet turned towards the divine, there is no need to feel discouraged. Wandering is simply the nature of the mind. The first thing you should do is understand what your mind truly desires. Whatever it genuinely longs for, fulfill it. There is no need to fight with the mind. It always wants something. Let it engage in what it seeks. When it becomes fully absorbed in that activity, it will stop wandering. There is no need to struggle against the mind. However, if the mind is drawn towards harmful or unhealthy tendencies, then simply observe it. Thoughts will arise, some good and some not so good. Instead of reacting to them, become a silent observer. Watch them, just as a light illuminates a dark room. Imagine that there is a rope lying in a dark room, but because of the darkness you mistake it for a snake. The moment light fills the room, the illusion disappears. In the same way, the purpose of observing yourself is to bring the light of awareness within. When that inner light arises, thoughts gradually begin to dissolve on their own, and the mind slowly becomes empty. The way you spend your time each day determines the quality of your thoughts. If you spend your time watching television or engaging in endless conversations, then your thoughts will naturally reflect those influences. Therefore, make an effort to spend time in silence. Remember, as your nourishment is, so are your thoughts. Nourishment does not mean only the food you eat. Everything you see is food for your eyes, everything you hear is food for your ears, and all sensory impressions become nourishment for the mind. The mind gradually merges with whatever it continuously consumes. So, observe the mind. Keep watching it, but do not fight it. You cannot win a battle against the mind because it is immensely powerful. It is a manifestation of the creative force itself. Instead of resisting it, be with it. If a particular tendency arises, Simply observe it. Through observation, that tendency will gradually disappear, and the thoughts of the mind will become empty. If your attention naturally settles on a mantra, then chant the mantra. If you feel inspired to visit a temple, then go there. But try not to become excessively involved in rituals and ceremonies, because rituals often keep you occupied without taking you closer to your own inner power. If you chant a mantra, chant it with awareness and listen to it with your own ears. This is one of the finest practices. If you are unable to meditate, then simply repeat the mantra and listen to it attentively as you chant. Live in peace. Be mindful of the food you eat, the people you spend time with, what you listen to, and what you watch. If you continue to live in this way, the mind will gradually become steady, because mastering the mind is the most difficult task in worldly life. That is why it is said, "He who conquers the mind conquers the world." Nothing unusual is happening to you. Every human being experiences the same struggle. It is extremely difficult to conquer the mind. So do not try to defeat it. Instead, remain with it in awareness. Gradually, its hold over you will weaken. When you stay with the mind rather than fighting it, it no longer struggles against you. It becomes like a friend instead of an enemy. It begins to cooperate and allows you to move in the direction you truly wish to go. This is the way. Practice it sincerely in your daily life, and the mind will gradually come under its own natural control.